Hey everyone, today we're digging into a medical puzzle that honestly seems to defy all the rules. How can someone have high blood sugar without being overweight? Let's get right into it. So let's just ask it straight up. How is it possible to be slim and still struggle with high blood sugar? I mean, it seems to go against everything we're told about diabetes, right? It's always linked with weight. Well, that's the big mystery we're going to unravel today. Okay, to get to the bottom of this paradox, first we have to understand where all the sugar from our food is supposed to go. And the answer might actually surprise you. It's all about our body's amazing sugar sponges, our muscles. Just think about that number for a second. A whopping 70 to 80% of the glucose from a meal is meant to be soaked up directly by your muscles. They're the #1 destination for blood sugar. When that system is working the way it should, your blood sugar stays nice and stable. All right, with that crucial piece of evidence in our back pocket, let's open up the case file. Our first and most common suspect in this mystery is a condition people often call skinny fat. The logic here follows right from that first clue. You see, if a person has lower muscle mass, their body just has fewer of those critical sugar sponges. It's like the main storage facility for glucose has been seriously downsized. And here's the direct result. With fewer muscles to grab it, that sugar from your food has nowhere to go. It literally gets stuck in traffic, just circulating in your bloodstream, and that's what gives you those high blood sugar readings. Now, this condition has a proper name. It's called silent insulin resistance. It means that even in a slim person, the muscle cells just aren't listening to insulin anymore. Think of it this way. Insulin is the key that should unlock your cells to let the sugar in, but in this case, the lock is jammed. When muscles don't get used as much, their internal machinery for absorbing sugar just gets rusty, and they start ignoring insulin's knock at the door. But what if the usual suspect isn't the whole story? Case closed? Nope, not so fast. This is where our investigation takes a really critical turn. We have to consider a totally different and frankly more serious possibility. So while that skinny fat scenario is for sure the usual suspect, it is not the only one. There is another, more dangerous possibility that works on a completely different level, and it is absolutely vital that we don't miss it. This second suspect is called LADA. It's a form of autoimmune diabetes. You can think of it as type 1.5. Now with LADA, the problem has nothing to do with your muscle cells. The problem is that your body's own immune system is mistakenly attacking and destroying the very cells in your pancreas that make insulin in the first place. So now we have two very different suspects lined up. One is low muscle mass causing insulin resistance, and the other is an autoimmune attack on the pancreas. How in the world do you tell them apart? Well, it's time to look at the clues. Let's compare our two suspects, side by side. First up, the primary cause. It's either low muscle or it's an immune attack. Big difference. Now look at weight. With skinny fat, your weight is probably pretty stable. But a huge clue for LADA can be rapid, unexplained weight loss. The blood sugar levels also tell a story. They might be moderately high in the first case, but with LADA, they're often really high and just hard to manage. And finally, here's a big one. How the body responds to medication. Standard oral drugs might work for skinny fat, but in LADA, they'll eventually stop being effective. Now, these clues are super important, but any good investigation needs more than just circumstantial evidence. To really, truly solve this mystery, we need definitive scientific proof. And getting that proof is actually a pretty clear two-step process. Step 1 is just recognizing the pattern of clues we just talked about. Then, step 2, armed with that knowledge, is having a conversation with your doctor to get specific lab tests that would deliver the final verdict. And here's the forensic evidence that cracks the case. First, the C-peptide test. This test literally measures how much insulin your pancreas is still making. If that number is low, it points to a production problem, not just resistance. And then you have the anti-GAD antibody test. This one is the smoking gun for LADA. It checks for the specific antibodies that confirm an autoimmune attack is happening. Okay, so we've examined the scene, we've identified the suspects, and we've reviewed the forensic evidence. So what is the final verdict in this whole investigation? What do you need to take away from all this? Here it is. This is the crucial takeaway. For a slim person with high blood sugar, the most common cause is probably going to be low muscle mass. But the can't-miss cause is LADA. It absolutely must be ruled out because it's a completely different disease that requires a completely different treatment plan, a plan that will eventually need insulin. You simply cannot afford to get this diagnosis wrong. And that leaves us with one final and really vital question. Knowing the difference between the common cause and the can't miss cause is everything. It's the key to getting the right care. So you have to ask yourself, or someone you know, are you absolutely sure you're treating the right condition?